Hello everybody, Hydra here, and welcome to another review. And this time, we'll be taking a look at the Bandai 1991 King Ghidorah. So, you may be thinking, did I just review this figure? Well, actually, this is the 91 version, even though it may say 84 on the foot here. Fortunately, Bandai was a little bit lazy with how they are. Because look at this. Come on. Focus, focus. Yeah, as you can see, 1984. For some reason, they didn't change it, which is a little bit weird. So, a little bit lazy on Bandai's part, but I'll show it in a bit. But anyway, let's take a look at the detail. So, the detail is pretty much nearly the same as the last review. The scales on it still look very nice. I mean, it's reused from what I'm about to show, but overall, like, the detail's a little bit, it still holds up, but it does look a little bit faded. Like, the wings, they do look the same. Same detail. Even the back. The back is a little bit, even though, yeah, the back is pretty much the same. Tail is also the same. But what's different is the necks. Or actually, just the heads and necks. I can see a big difference with the necks. So, let me just move this. So as you can see, they reused the body, but they made new necks. So let's take a look at the neck, shall we? Now the necks, they actually look pretty good. The scales are nicely captured. And I like these little spikes here that are that were in the movie. All the way down to the face. Now the face, I really like. The face looks pretty freaking cool. And the horns as well. They look absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love the heads on this one. They look so cool. Look very awesome. And so, the paint is pretty much the vinyl, but there is like a little bit of shading. Like on the necks here, this is actually goldish. Like, this is a very like dullish gold, and it actually like captures it really well. And there's also shading on the wings as well, pretty much the same as the last review. And also on the knees, though not on the toes. Shading at the back with the wings as well, the tips, and a little bit at the tail. So let's move on to articulation then. So just like the last review, the necks can rotate. They can move just fine on mine. So if you wanted them to like do that, make them like look at you all funny, there you go. You can do that. And yeah, they can move pretty freely. And the spikes, they don't get in the way as much. You can definitely get them to move. And despite being hard vinyl like the necks, they can move like in and out if you want them to, so there we go. The wings can also rotate, and you can have them fold. This time though, they're a little bit easier, so yeah. There we go. So you have them on your shelf without having to hog up a lot of space. Or should I say cough up a lot of space. And the legs can rotate as well, though it's a little bit of harder vinyl, so I would be careful. And then the tail finally, so you can have them in a flying position. Just like that. There we go. And now let's move on to sizing. Or actually first, let's move on to a comparison. Actually, we're going to be doing comparisons because we got a lot to talk about this guy. So, the first one that I'm actually going to pull out is, well, we just reviewed him, and I keep on saying last review, and well, might as well show what I last reviewed. The Showa King Ghidorah. So as you can see, the body, pretty much everything else was reused, except for the heads and the necks. Now the necks are different. They are different, and here's how they're different. Look at this one. There's not as much like squares or rectangles on the necks. It's just one singular line. And also, like, as I said before, like, these two are switched, and even with these two switched, I can see, like, the difference. Like, this one is more like, while this one will be over here. Like, as you can see, like, they are different. Like, the necks are definitely different. This one's a little bit more thicker, while this one's a little bit more thin. And the heads as well. They're very different. So, yeah, but overall, like, as you can see, like, the Heisei Ghidorah is actually taller. It's very slight, but yeah, but this one is slightly taller. So, there we go. And they're about the same length, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they're the same length. Now, let's move on to the newer sculpt. The newer Bandai sculpt. And so, let me pull out an oldie, but a goodie. My original pink tag King Ghidorah. And as you can see, his heads are up. But I guess if you really wanted me to pull out something with normal necks, I guess I could pull out something else. And if you really want to, I guess if you really don't want to see this guy, then fine. He tried to show up. He was definitely trying to show up, but you guys definitely don't want to see him, so I guess not. So I guess we'll just pull out the version that everyone has. The 2002 dull color King Ghidorah. And as you can see, like, yeah, there's a big difference. Mainly in the, basically, like, the sculpt here was was like very changed, very drastically. Now the wings are different, as well as pretty much everything else. Yeah, but as you can see, like, there's a big difference here in size. This one's much taller. And to be perfectly honest, like, I actually like the heads on this one a little bit better. This one, they look fine, but I feel like this one just captures King Ghidorah more. Like, I don't know, that's just me. And now let's move on to actual size comparisons. So, let's take out pretty much a figure that everyone should have, or at least a sculpted this guy. The Heisei Godzilla. And as you can see, this is pretty accurate to the movie. Like, Godzilla was pretty much this big in the movie. But I guess if you want him a little bit bigger, since that was a much more smaller figure, I guess if you want him to be bigger, let's take out the NECA Godzilla. And yeah, this also works pretty well. I mean, Godzilla's like 100 meters, and this guy is like 140, so you know what, this does work. This works pretty well. And then why not, let's pull out my Mecha King Ghidorah. As you can see, this is definitely not accurate considering the fact that Ghidorah is much bigger, but I don't know, if you really wanted to make Mecha King Ghidorah smaller, here you go. So yeah. And then finally one more. Let's bring out, because why not, Heisei Ghidorah. And yeah, this is pretty accurate of how it look, because they're both 140. And yeah, there we go. This is pretty much how it will. This is pretty much of how it will look in the movie. So, yeah, this will be a very, very threatening team indeed. And finally, Rarity. Now, this is where I'm gonna be a little bit. This is where I'm gonna talk a little bit more, So the rarity of this figure is a little bit odd. This version I have here, now you may notice it's a little bit different. Now, if you have a 91 Ghidorah of the 8-inch scale, you'll notice that the spikes on mine are sharp, as well as the horns. This one is the sharp version, or I guess the quote-unquote sharp first version, where they took the King Ghidorah. Now this is pretty much the first mold of it. So why is it that I say that it's a little bit weird? Well, there's a second version, which I'll put in the picture. I don't know if I'll put it in or not, but yeah, they made two molds of this, and one has a sharp, which this one is a sharp version, while the other is like a dull version where they dull out the horns, they dull out the spines, and I think they also dull out the wings too, which is a little bit weird. And also it's a little bit more of a creamish color as opposed to more of a goldish like this one is. So it's kind of weird, and I don't know which one is rare. Like, I think the sharp version is more rare. I mean, like, more rare to find a good version of it, because trust me, like, I mean, this costed for me like $40, and I mean, yeah, sure, that may be a bad deal because the Bandai 91 Ghidorah is not the best figure, but I mean, you know what? I don't freaking care. Like, it's a sharp freaking version that has clean horns, clean necks. I mean, come on, I'm gonna freaking get it, and it's nearly mint condition. Like, no tag, but you know what? Screw it. Like, at this point, I'll just get a figure without a tag at this point. So, the rarity of this one is a little bit odd. Like I said, like, it's very weird. So, I'm gonna say that this version of it is rare. Like, finding a good, like, finding one in a very good condition is very rare. I mean, you can find these, like, pretty much everywhere, but they have, like, broken horns, I guess, like, shrimp, and I guess, like, faded paint as well, like, on the necks, too. So, I'd say that this version of it is very rare, if you want to find a good version of it. I think the dull horns is the one that's, like, the more common one. Because, I don't know, like, they made two versions of this. So, overall, I'm going to say that this one is kind of rare. So that's it for this review. So the sculpt, just like with the Bandai King Ghidorah, or the Showa Ghidorah, I think the sculpt here looks very, very good, especially the horns here. Like, the horns especially, I feel like, are very, very cool to look at. The paint is, there's not too much, but for what's there, I think it looks great. The articulation is pretty much the same as the Showa. Sizing, he's gonna go well if you're if you're 8-inch figures. And rarity, I'd say he's pretty rare to find if you want to find a good condition. So overall, I'm actually gonna give this. So I know there's a lot of problems with this figure, and I know people don't like it, but I'm gonna give this figure a 10 out of 10. I actually really like it. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, there's no paint on it. Yeah. But you know what? I don't care. I really like it. So that's it for this review. So I'm giving this figure a 10 out of 10. And I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.